Hello, good afternoon, every day. And I'm going to tell you about my special guest in a little bit, but I'm just going to give a few people some time to come on in. And as you guys come on in to the room, I'll go ahead and just, kick this off before we get excited. So, first of all, I just want to welcome everybody here. And because this is a newer platform, I do want to let everybody know who I am if you're coming in to watch for the first time. Is that I am Bernitha James, aka Coach BJ. I am the CEO of The Source of Hope, and I am the CWO and managing partner of CRM Optimization Group, which is a IT Salesforce consultant firm. And I currently host two virtual talks in the evenings every first and third Thursdays of the month at 7 p.m. One that is transformational talks with me personally. The third Thursday, an expert to come in and give their expertise about a specific topic. So if you're interested in looking at some more of my talks, definitely look at going on my YouTube channel. I'm _ Coach BJ, and you can find that information there or at the source of is my third platform that I launched this year, 2021 in January. 19th was my first segment. So today is my second of the month at 12 o'clock noon. And again, the purpose of Spotlights with Coach BJ is twofold. One, I bring on guests that either own small businesses or nonprofit organizations, and to bring them on to share their inspiring stories of how they got started. We talk about some of the rough patches. So we just talk about various things, their business or their nonprofit organization. And the first part of it is to hope in hopes that, the conversation that I have with my guests will spark an interest or inspire you to look see what your calling and your purpose is in life. And the second part of it is for those small businesses, you can look at some of their products and services and see if you would like to sow a seed in their business by supporting their products or services that they provide. And then with the nonprofit organizations, you can look at I've been a volunteer. If you're drawn to some of those nonprofit organizations that I also have on this particular segment. So again, you can always look at my platforms and you can that. And just before we get started and everything, I wanted to let you guys know that due to the heavy winds on both me and my guest ends, the system may go in and out. But just stick with us because you still should be able to hear us talking, even if you don't see our beautiful faces. You should still be able to hear the content. So just stick with us. This segment should be no more than 30 to 40 minutes. But I definitely want you to be inspired by her story. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat. I will be seeing them as we go along through this talk. And anything you want to ask real time to our guests, I will put it up on the screen and let her answer those questions real time. But again, we are having some technical difficulties due to the wind outside that we don't have any control over, unfortunately. But again, we're going to do the best we can to communicate the information. And if there's some parts that you might have missed, you can go back and watch the replay and catch what you can of this talk. So again, we just apologize in advance for this. So my special guest today is Keto Coach and entrepreneur, Janise Coach Cupcake Campbell of the Atlanta Keto Academy and Sweets by AKA. And so Janise and I actually met in college and we reconnected over the last couple of years via Facebook. And I have just been watching her and been so inspired by her stories, her journeys, how she's an influencer. She actually really make an impact on a lot of women's lives. And you're going to hear shortly about two other businesses that she actually have as well that she's going to talk about where she have built teams and not only is building wealth for herself and her family, but also she is making an impact in building wealth and helping other women build wealth and being an impact impacting their lives as well. So you're going to hear more about her journey in a minute. And so, how she became a keto coach is just through her own personal weight loss journey, which she's going to share as well. So I'm spotlighting Janise Keto Cupcake. And Janise, say hello to the people.
Hey everyone.
Get into this talk. So, first of all, I want to ask you is to tell us a little bit about yourself. And before we get into the Atlanta Keto Academy and Sweets by AKA, I want you to not only let us know a little bit about yourself, but your journey in becoming an entrepreneur. As I said, you are, a boss of 3 businesses. And so I want people to even be inspired by how do you manage and juggle 3 different businesses, and I'm just inspired by that as well. I'm managing 2 companies myself, but you managing 3 businesses, like that is just amazing. So let's start off with that question.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Hey everyone. I hope you're having a terrific day so far. So yes, I'm Janise Campbell, and my friends call me Keto Coach Cupcake. And listen, I always had a desire to become an entrepreneur. I think a lot of times we all have these desires of who we are and what we really want to do. I was talking to Coach BJ yesterday about your heart. Your heart has an ear. You could actually hear, you feel, you pretty much know what you're needing to do, but sometimes we take detours. And I actually found, or entrepreneurship stopped me right in my tracks because, like Coach BJ said, I started keto really to lose weight. I got started December 10th, 2018. I was approaching my 42nd birthday. And at that time, I was full of inflammation. I needed assistance to get out of the bed. It was just not a good thing. And I knew there had to be a better way. I started with keto coaching with Keisha. I have to really give praise to my mentor, who was able to really see that it was more than just weight loss for me. She helped me to really accept and welcome entrepreneurship. So I don't know that I could say anything more than but God. It's just been God putting the right people in my path and introducing me to who I am and just allowing me to be more and more confident. At the time when I did decide to do this business, I was unemployed, had lost a position back February 2019. And I use Facebook really as a means to share my story, but it was really healing. It was my cry for healing. And I didn't realize how many people were feeling the same way that I was feeling. We always prep and we try to go and get these jobs, and we want to impress the interviewer that I can do this, whatever you're trying to get them to believe. And all along, I was preaching to myself to believe that I could be a keto coach, I could be an entrepreneur, and I could be disciplined. So I know that was a mouthful, but I want to just say that if you can hear and feel with your heart, if you've got an assignment that it doesn't matter what that assignment sounds like. It doesn't have to be a director of any other company outside of what you've been called to do. Take the leap, take the jump, be confident. So all of this came from changing my way of eating, believe it or not. And that's how I'm able to do those 3 things. We didn't talk about them yet, but we'll get into it.
Awesome. So I would like for you to share with our viewers about the Atlanta Keto Academy and Sweets by AKA. And we know it was your own personal weight loss journey, but what was that weight loss journey like for you? I want you to share that with them.
So like I mentioned, I was full of inflammation. So I discovered later in life that I was pretty good at working out. I enjoyed Zumba. At one point in life, became a Zumba instructor. And then I started at this wonderful gym. It's the greatest gym. I have to plug them in Atlanta on this side of heaven, Effect Fitness. Those individuals, I would go, and I was finding myself going 3 days, and then it increased to 6 days. And as I was going, I realized that I'm not losing the kind of weight that I want to lose. I'm feeling better, right? Um, I'm getting a little bit of results, but how many of you know you cannot work out? You can work out all you want. You just cannot outwork a poor diet. So Keisha, my coach Keisha, Found out about her by way of a former colleague, and she shared with me that this keto, and I had seen keto, and I used to be like, people go, no, keto is not the move, guys. Like, do you see all of that grease that's on those people's plates? I was anti-keto. I was like, those folks are gonna die. There's no way, right? But I gave it a shot because I was doing what I needed to do with my coaches over at the gym, but I needed to improve my way of eating. Started at December 10th, 2018. From the top of January to the end of December, when I decided to do keto and I was working out as hard as I was, I had not lost even 10 pounds. All right. So I
Mm.
go to the doctor, and the doctor, the nurse wants you to step on the scale before they can even pronounce your name properly. I'm like, you just kind of nosy, little lady. So I'm sitting with the doctor, and she tells me something that I already knew. I was 196 pounds, 5'2", and I'm by the standard of the medical world, I'm obese. That's what they said, and that I needed to do something. So we did our blood work results, all of that. My glucose was fine. I'm not diabetic, but I've got a fatty liver when I get the results back. And you need to start making some changes to the way you're eating, Miss Campbell, is what they say. And then you've got to figure it out. So I
Right.
got serious. Started keto, and Coach BJ, I lost 11 pounds in the first 2 weeks. So
Ooh.
at that point, I went from you lost 11 pounds in the
What?
first 2 weeks to
Wow.
being able to get out of the bed by myself unassisted,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And at that moment, I started getting more curious as to, why is this really working? I wanted to know more. I made the switch from just, this is more than weight loss, to, I need to know more.
Mm. Love it. So, in that, I want to know, what were some of the obstacles, or I would even say fears, you faced at the beginning. Did you have any apprehensions about starting? I know you said, the knowledge. So what you've done, you went to do your knowledge or whatever. So what was like maybe a little bit of the lack of confidence, or something you may had, or fears or obstacles you face, when becoming a keto coach? A lot of times we feel, I can speak for myself, a lot of times you feel like, am I good enough? Are people going to like what I'm saying? Or do they believe I'm knowledgeable enough? Do I have to give them all these certifications and everything to prove myself, right? So for you, what was that for you? What were any obstacles or fears or anything you had at the beginning?
Just making sure that I did not allow myself to self-sabotage. It
Yeah.
was the same thing that I felt when I started keto, but not to self-sabotage, not to tell Janise, you need to have all these degrees. Janise, you have to have all these certifications. I didn't allow myself to talk myself out of being on keto or
Yeah.
coaching keto. And even when I tried, I had angels in my path, like I said. This is an assignment, people who were reassuring me that I am on the right path, and it felt right. I studied, I continued to read, to learn. I continue to have a mentor, because I don't I don't profess to know it all, right? I don't do anything if I feel like my intentions are motivated by um, anything outside of your health. My ultimate assignment is our health, taking care of the community. If I ever feel like I'm venturing off from that, away from that, then I pause and I stop myself. So that's the constant thing, just keeping myself in check and remembering what this is all about.
Great. So before we really get into the details of keto, which I'm going to open it up and actually just have you just kind of flow and talk about that, I just wanted to kind of get one more last question in before we really dive deep into keto. Is, being the entrepreneur of multiple brands, and her multiple brands is, she's the keto coach of the Atlanta and lashes and everything else. So that is her second business. And she's also a real estate agent. So that lets you know the dynamics and the variance of her business, as a lash boss, she have to not only keep up with her own, sales, but she's also and then as a keto coach, she's also, again, motivating and encouraging people in the aspect of weight loss. So again, she is a true inspiration. And I just want her, for those who are looking to be entrepreneurs or trying to figure out what they want to do, she's sustainable, and her inspiration and her encouragement and motivation is across any of your brands that you have started. And how did you overcome that? And then I'm going to let you get into keto. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. And the last part of your question did cut out. If you wouldn't mind, are you able to repeat that for me?
Absolutely. I was just going to say, based on you being an entrepreneur of multiple brands that I just mentioned, can you point the biggest mistake of when you started, either one of those or all three of them, maybe simultaneously, and how did you overcome it? That's what I would like you to share.
Overthinking. You don't have to know it all. How many of you had jobs before? My background is human resource, right? I hired, I fired, I trained, I blessed, I released. I had to uplift people when they made costly mistakes. So if I could do that for my former employees, can't you do it for yourself? How many of you know after you get done with the interview, they gave you this job description to woo you in? Now we got you. And it could be the same type of job for every company that you've gone to, but we're going to teach you our way. Once I started getting that really released me to just get going.
Wow.
Everything does not have to be perfect. I don't know anybody perfect. And for me, the more I tried to have every I dotted and every T crossed, that was allowing me to dip into something called procrastination, which is an area that I struggled with, right? So
Yeah.
I knew I know my areas of strengths and weaknesses. And so this time I said, you know what? Let's just try something different. As soon as I did that, it just took off. Actually, even with keto, I believe part of the reason that I'm also more interested in it is because I write insurance policies. So I'm an insurance broker as well. So I wear many, many hats. But not being able to help families get insured because of things like what's in their medical history or their weight, I can really impact and help make a difference from assisting people on learning how to eat better. But it's the same thing that translates from business to business. Just get started. You can learn as you go. We've got something called YouTube University, and we've got several people who have made awesome strides in business because they just took the leap. That's the difference between being an exceptional person, in my opinion. Just go for it. These exceptional people that we see, like Oprah's in the world. Who else can we name? I know we always start with her. Tyler Perry's, Steve Harvey, right?
Yeah.
These people are exceptional because they gave it a shot. Fear just pauses you, and it just causes too many detours that we don't necessarily need.
And
I hope that makes sense. Okay.
Some dream killers. We have some people that will kill your dream. So you have to be strong and be faithful to yourself and committed to the plan and the goals that you have set out for yourself. I mean, that's the exceptional work right there. I don't care if you get no's, doors slammed in your face. You want to stay focused on what you've committed to, your dreams. And that's the Tyler Perry's who was homeless, who now is a success. Everybody a lot of times just look at these celebrities and look at them where they are now. But a lot of them don't take the time to really learn their story, which is why even this platform to me is so important, is that learn people's story. Don't, be jealous of them or hate them for their success. You don't know the struggles. You don't know the pain. You don't know the trials they've had to go through to get to where they are today. So just always keep that in mind when you're looking at people. You see their glory, but you don't know their story. So just keep that in mind, when you're looking at people and you're trying to, again, just keep that in mind when you're focusing on yourself and your dreams. So, at this point,
And before you go,
go ahead, sure.
before you go forward, I don't mean to interrupt you. Um, Here's the thing. Don't you sabotage, don't you put negative noise in your own ear, and don't you dare measure your success to mine, Coach BJ's. Your gift
Oh,
is your own, your assignment belongs to you. You're going to know exactly which way to go, what turn to take, how far to stay, when to rest, every single thing. I promise you. Don't you dare talk yourself out of what's meant for you. don't allow don't allow your own external noise to pause you, please. I just felt like something just came all over me to just make sure you
yeah,
knew. I was guilty. I have been guilty in that, but now, once you stay focused on what you've been given, and you celebrate, be excited, celebrate the success of your peers and people that you don't know. And final thought on this: we know all of the Maya Angelou's, and we know Oprah Winfrey's and Tyler Perry's, and we're excited for them, right? But how about I dare you to put your face right there in the lineup, because you're the same.
the same.
You belong there. We
Yeah,
belong there. And once you believe that, the freedom, it can be super uncertain, but you'll live the most free life. I feel like I finally started feeling free in my mind and my thoughts truly last year in 2020, when everything, the world paused, and it made me stop and look in the mirror and say, hey, I just felt like the Holy Spirit was like, I've been trying to catch up with you, and now I have your attention. So, yes.
man.
Um,
And And so, there you go right there. I know when we have these things to come over us, we need to be able to speak it out. So always remember to encourage someone else, I tell you.
yes.
So what we're going to do now is just go into the depth of the keto. And, our guests today have committed to really talking about a couple of points, and, how keto, as she mentioned earlier, is more than weight loss, and how even keto, people don't even realize that it improves your memory, cures we're not realizing that the keto diet itself can do some of these things. It can heal the body. It's definitely a sustainable way of eating. And, Janise is going to go into talking about that. So you can really realize keto is more than just what she mentioned earlier, the grease you see on the plate, or
Yes.
some of the myths and untruths that people mention about keto. It's not so. You just have to have the right information and the right coach like Janise to really be able to walk you through and help you through understanding what's good for your unique body, what's good for you as it relates to keto. Keto may not be the same for everybody, but she can tailor something that will be good for you personally based on your medical conditions, based on a lot of those things. So take it away, Janise. You can go ahead and share.
Well, okay, so keto, you all, what we're doing is we're switching the fuel source. Right now, if you're eating carbohydrates or you're eating sugar, you know how you feel like super high, you're super excited, and then all of a sudden you crash, right? So you're running and operating on glucose. And let me give a disclaimer: Janise is not a medical practitioner, all right?
Yeah.
She is a daughter who has decided that she's going to stay on keto and really become more informed as to how keto can really help improve a quality of life. So I want to make sure that I give that disclaimer. But what we're doing is we are switching our body to becoming fat fuel burners. We're taking in high amounts of fats like coconut oil, MCT oil, olive oil. There's so many more that are super clean. When you're eating fat doesn't cause you to be fat. Fat actually satiates you, and it helps you to switch over to burning ketones. And as a result, we're healing our bodies from the inside out. But on the outside, we're starting to see our skin is glowing. We're looking younger. We're feeling more energetic. Um, we're losing weight. Our dress size are going down. We even notice that our immune system is stronger. So it's a low carb way of eating, but there's much more to it. So I like to say there's a keto formula. We're taking in less than 5 to 10% of carbohydrates. So we're taking in a very small amount of carbs, and we're literally running and operating off of fat. At some point, we're going to switch our fuel source completely over. And at that point, we'll be considered something fat adapted. And I don't want to get super heavy, but let's talk about how you can get started. Y'all, we're going to have to learn how to say no, right? This is that one no that has so much value that you're learning to be stronger and you're making better decisions. I was at a event once and I was invited, and I can't remember this nurse practitioner's name, but it stuck with me that she said, remember that we should not dig our graves with our spoons and our forks. That's so serious. Some of us are in position where if we just make some changes to our diet, you can come off of hypertension medications. You can reverse diabetes. Keto can assist with certain cancers, like Coach BJ mentioned. It can help you fight better and heal faster, right? You can, I'm so excited, I can't even get it out, but we can reduce the amount of money we're spending on food, because now food is no longer an activity. Like literally, people know if we were still pre-COVID, they couldn't call me and say, "Hey, let's go get something to eat." I only eat when I'm hungry, and I stop when I'm full. So if you know that that's the activity you want to do with Coach Cupcake, you need to let me know a few days in advance so I can plan to fast through that time frame, so that I'll at least be good company when you go and eat your carb meals, and I make the right decisions to say, you know what, I'll have this menu with a few tweaks. You're going to learn that keto is sustainable. It's not boring. We really eat good food. We can keto on the go, Coach BJ. We can keto with cocktails. We can still have keto desserts. But that just means now we have to hire the right vendor, and we're learning to read ingredients so that we just don't go for something on the shelf and say, oh, this says keto, so it means I can eat it. No. My program is an 8-week program, and I pretty much take you through a 3-hour lecture. You're going to know when you finish what keto is. What are we fixing? You're going to know what keto, what insulin resistance is. All of these things that people don't tell you. They just tell you you can eat bacon when it's keto and eat lots of fat. But they don't tell you what your body is doing as it's transitioning, right? A lot of people don't tell you about the importance of taking in supplements. You're going to know the ins and outs of how keto works and benefits. Even ladies who have PCOS, if you want to get pregnant, and I'm not saying that this is medical advice, but I promise you, change the way you're eating. Keto has been so successful in helping many, many keto babies, and I am a happy keto auntie. So I've got many, many keto nieces and nephews because of keto. Men, if you're having low testosterone, it just makes all the reproductive organs happy. So within 8 weeks, you're going to know how you get into keto, how to avoid something called the keto flu. You're going to know how to track your macronutrients. You're going to know each and everything about success, a successful keto journey. And within your first 8 weeks, you would have lost ounces, inches, and pounds, and that's going to equal to some form of transformation. But last point is, just make sure whatever you do, again, don't even sabotage your weight loss. You didn't gain it just like that, you're not going to lose it just like that, if that makes sense. So please don't sabotage yourself when it comes to your keto journey.
Oh yeah, it definitely makes a lot of sense. And thank you, for sharing that, because, as me and you have had off conversations, getting pregnant initially because of my PCOS. And I'm okay with saying that because a lot of people go through their journeys in silence, especially when you have people ask you 50 minutes time, well, when are you going to get pregnant? When, all of these various things that people kind of run up to you and ask you, you don't realize. But that's considered high insulin resistance. And keto is one of those things for me that now I do partly to manage my carb and sugar. So I'm part keto. And I'm gonna have to put a plug in for her sister, Rhonda Campbell, who makes the best bread in the land. Shout out to Rhonda Campbell. So definitely, if you're looking for a keto bread solution, the keto bread is everything and very filling. So I'm a testament. I am a purchaser of her bread and her products. And, on her page looking at her desserts and all the stuff that she does. She does some fabulous desserts, and I'm always like trying to get some tips and say, okay, she's doing it this way. Like I think taught us how to make hot chocolate, and all of these experiments that she put on her page. So I mean, oh my gosh, she's, like I said, she's just an inspiration overall, and that's why I just know that God led me to have her on spotlights with me, to really share her inspiring story, to share her entrepreneurship, journey, to tell you that keto is more than just weight loss. And it's just really more about you being focused on what's best for you and what's that plan. So she also mentioned some of the details of her 8-week program. And if you want to talk about the cost, and even if you want to connect with her just to get a complimentary, consultation, you can do that as well. Do you want to talk more about that, Janise?
Yeah, sure. So it's a $125 for you to take the 3-hour workshop. You will have access to ask questions. You'll have a support group. There are some resources that we will use. I am going to have us do a case study. I feel that the more that you're educated on this way of eating, you'll stick to it. So we'll go through a case study. You'll have a guide that will teach you what's the best option, what's a good option, what's the better option. You will know. Now, one thing about keto is you got to have something called keto imagination. And I'm not asking us to go out and be childlike, but what I am asking us to do is if there is something that we still desire to have or taste, we're going to figure out how can we make this happen within our keto guidelines to make it still keto. So that's how it works. You're not going to just be dropped off. I will coach you the way you allow me to. So there are some folks, keto or weight loss is just intimate, right? It is as intimate as getting out of the shower. Sometimes you just don't want people to know, to see, to anything, right? So I get that. And if you don't feel comfortable talking to me on a regular basis, that's fine. You'll have your group, the support group, to be able to come and ask your questions, and we'll answer those questions for you. Thanks. I see a question that just popped up, something shiny. So let me make sure I answer this question. Can you tell me if there's a difference in keto if you're vegan or limited meat eater? So Miranda, let me tell you this. First of all, you can keto as a vegan. You can keto as a vegetarian. You can keto as a pescatarian. All the tarians, a carnivore, whatever. The thing is, keto has a formula, right? The formula, and I call it the keto formula. This is Janice's sayings. So you're going to do 5 to 10% carbohydrates, 20% of about 20% of protein. And let me make sure I don't want to give y'all the wrong thing. So I always have my little notes and stuff. Even still to this day, like I mentioned, I want to always be sure I'm giving you the most accurate information. So we're talking about 70 to 75% fat, 20 to 25% protein, and 5 to 10% carbs. Vegans, what do we know about vegans? And vegans, I don't want to vex you or make you feel like I'm not being respectful of your choice. However, the question was posed, can she do it? Absolutely, she can. Now, you'll have to figure out how are you going to get your proteins in. And if we're reducing you from 5 to 10 to 5 to 10% carbs, we know that vegans and vegetarians tend to take in more carbohydrates. So it's going to be more about balance and creativity so that we can make sure that you're getting the nutritional value from your food that you need. Okay, so that's the easiest way to explain that, answer that question for you.
Does anyone else have any other questions? If
Great
so, put them in the chat. Great question, Miranda. Thank you so much for answering that question. And Sherry, she also she said she loved bread and how could she get the bread? So I told her I would send her Rhonda's information.
Please
So
do.
we'll definitely send that out. And let me tell you guys, her and her sister, like they have all they've done some creative stuff. So cakes and chicken pot pies. And I think this makes like a lasagna. And I mean,
Yes.
like all various things they have like to really help you on your keto journey, real food, so trust me when I tell you, you won't be sorry with this. And as I mentioned earlier about the other two businesses as well. So I know we've been talking more heavily about keto, but if anyone is interested, in joining businesses, and she's a real estate agent. So if you're in the Atlanta area and you're looking for a real estate agent for buying or selling homes, she's also here as well. So those are her other two businesses. So if you can, connect with her there, and and address those before we leave. So you can go ahead and I'm putting that up on the screen. I think
Okay.
it's
So, of course, we cut out, but I see where we are. So, if you will, follow me on Instagram. It's Sweets by AKA, and AKA is Atlanta Keto Academy. You can also follow me on Facebook. I have actually reached my max with regard to the friends, but you can follow me and just catch if I'm talking about anything that's of interest to you. Feel free to follow me. It's just my personal page, and you see it scrolling on the bottom, Janise Campbell. Now, with the other, thank you for posting that. If you're interested, if you can capture that, what's going across the screen, that is the registration link in order for you to register. If you are new to me, then you will take the initial class. As I mentioned, it's 3 hours, it's $125. If you're returning, some individuals have taken keto classes before and you fall off. It happens. If you need to reset and you've already gone through keto coaching with Cupcake, feel free to go ahead and register for the refresher class. I do have a class that's coming up this Friday at 7:30 p.m. So emails will be sent to those of you who decided that you want to join this journey with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. All I want you to do is keep your keto imagination. Thank you, Carolyn. I'm interested in speaking with you. So feel free to send me an inbox. Let me know that you are interested. You could also email me, and I'll give you that email address. It's B as in beautiful, OUG as in gorgeous, IE bougie, keto, KETO, ATL at gmail.com. So when I initially got started with keto, bougie keto ATL at gmail.com, my friends would say, "Oh, you're so bougie with the way you're making your keto meals." So I just figured I'd keep it. Bougie keto ATL at gmail.com. Please send me an email. I will respond to you and follow up to just get you started and going. So, Bernitha, I don't know. Hopefully, you all can still hear me. I know she mentioned to you all that I am into the cosmetics world and the lashes and all of that. So, I am a director of influence. And it was so nice that you said influence, because an influencer, I'm still getting used to being considered as an influencer, but I welcome it. So, I'm a director of influence with a great cosmetic company, Tori Bell Cosmetics, and we are looking for affiliates to join the team. I got started with this January 19th last year while I was doing some of my keto ventures. And one of my good girlfriends, my mentor, Valerie Janise, posted on her page that she was going to start this lash business. And I had not worn lashes ever. by myself, like putting them on myself. I tried let somebody put them on 4 different times. And at the time, I just didn't like them. But what was so neat about this was it was magnetic lashes. And I felt like, oh my God, I got a shot. I can do this. I did not have the funds at that moment to talk about entrepreneurship and how things just happen. I didn't have the money, ladies and gentlemen. If you're listening, believe me, I didn't have the money. It was a $99 sign up to get started. I asked my dad, he said no. I asked my significant other, he said no. They both thought, well, you don't wear that kind of stuff, so you won't be serious and we don't want to waste our money. Let me tell you, that was a godsend. That was a godsend. I have not only been able to help myself, but like you mentioned, empower other women, ladies and gentlemen who are looking for something. We've got over 900,000 people that are unemployed in this country alone. And that number is ticking up, unfortunately, due to COVID. I have literally been able to help people start businesses and be able to just get their voice and take control of their own finances with lashes. So something that was meant to just be something to do, something fun, has really become something that I do to help others and inspire others. So yes, join me in that. We are expanding globally. I'm excited about that. So I'm probably going to have to come to you and get some coaching, Coach BJ, because we're expanding. And I'm just like over the moon. Australia, Scotland, Netherlands, Wales, UK, me. That's what we're doing. And so I'm excited about that. If you know of anyone, you're interested in it yourself, like these are literally magnetic lashes. I literally just took my lash off, right? And I'm going to put it back on.
And guys, she does this all the time, so she have no shame. Look.
I didn't like the way it went. Literally. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it. Oh, yeah.
Well, again,
we talked about real estate. Yeah. I got you guys. Real estate, insurance. But just to wrap it up, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So thank you so much for everybody who watched today and joined the live and interested as well. So just wanted to let you know that you have more interest, and we're going to be sending their contact information to you as well. So if anyone doesn't have any other questions, we'll go ahead and end this broadcast for today. But I thank you guys for all of your support and the support you're going to provide. Janise, this is exactly what this platform is for, is to bring about awareness of people that are doing great things. I will definitely send you guys the information. You're welcome, Latoya. So I will send you guys the information. Anything you miss, just reach out to me. And I will be more than happy to send you her contact information. So thank you so much. For those who continue to follow me, this Thursday, I have Ask the Expert at 7 p.m. Lee Trust Smith will be talking about Love Still Wins, Life After Divorce. So I just say that is divorce. That is a long-term relationship. She's going to have some wonderful nuggets. So meet me right back here on Facebook and YouTube for that talk on Thursday night at 7. See what some of the other topics and upcoming talks is going to be for the entire month of February. So I love you guys as always. Thank you so much for watching. Janise, God bless you. Thank you so much for being a guest today and sharing your expertise and inspiring people once again, as you always do. So thank you so much. And everybody for joining. You guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Have a great day.